Wingspan has 1 to 5 players trying to grow the most valuable bird sanctuaries. Stonemaier Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. New additions of the game include the Swift Start promo pack, which gives players specific starting cards, walks you through a couple turns, and then gives you a tip for continuing. I'm going to give a general idea of gameplay, but with the Swift Start and included quick reference, you'll have no problems playing. Anyhow, once everyone is set up and ready, player 1 can take one of the actions shown on the left of your player board. Play a bird, gain food, lay eggs, draw bird cards. Before I go into these actions in detail, see the egg icons at the top? Pay that many eggs when playing a bird in those columns. To play a bird, place an action cube and bird card in an open column of the habitat shown in the top left of the card. If there are multiple habitats, choose one of the shown icons: grassland, forest, or wetland. Next, pay the bird's food cost: fish, fruit, invertebrate, rodent, and seed. Some birds show a wild, meaning any food type counts. Some birds won't have a food cost. If a bird has a white when played ability, activate it. Some abilities trigger when opponents take actions, and others trigger when activated. I'll explain activation soon. To gain food, place your action cube in the first open spot in that row. In this example, draft 2 food dice from the feeder, then take the matching food tokens. Next, move the action cube left to activate all birds in that row. The black vulture has a pink once between turns ability, so move the action cube left again. The pygmy nuthatch can activate its brown ability. Tuck a card from your hand behind this bird to gain an invertebrate or seed from the supply. Tucked cards are worth a point during final scoring. Some spaces allow you to discard a bird card to draw an additional die. Some bird abilities generate food tokens for you, but if you want to score points from played birds, this is the main way to get food. Wait, points? See the number next to the feather? That's how many points this bird is worth. Underneath it is its nest type and the maximum number of eggs. If all dice show the same face when you gain food, you may re-roll all dice. Laying eggs follows the same mechanism as gaining food. Place an action cube in the first open space, place that many eggs on your birds, then move the cube left and activate bird abilities if possible. If you're unable to place the full amount of eggs due to egg limits, those eggs are lost. Eggs are worth points at the end of the game, but are also needed to play bird cards. Choose wisely. Some spaces allow you to discard any food token to place an additional egg. Drawing cards is straightforward. Some spaces allow you to discard an egg to draw an additional card. In addition to the 3 visible cards, you may take a chance on the top card of the deck. If you draft from the tray, do not refill it right away. Only replenish at the end of your turn. Score after each of the 4 rounds. Take 1 action cube and place on one of the spaces depending on how you did that round. Yep, that means you've 1 fewer action next round. Anyhow, the goal board is double-sided. The blue side is recommended for new players. 4 of the 8 double-sided goal tiles were set out at the start to give you, well, goals. The blue side awards points based on how many of that specific goal was reached. For example, looking at the first round, you'd score 4 points if you had 4 eggs in forest habitats. On the green side, points are awarded based on majority. Earlier on, I mentioned different nest types: bowl, cavity, ground, and platform. While some bird cards are tied to nest types, they mostly play a role during scoring. Now that you know how to play, let's talk about bonus cards. At the start of the game, you draw 2 and choose 1. Some birds allow you to gain additional bonus cards during the game. These are private goals. After scoring the 4th round, tally up your final scores: bird points, achieved bonus cards, end of round goals, eggs on cards, food tokens on cards, and tucked cards. The player with the most points wins. Use your actions to play birds, gain food, lay eggs, all on a quest to score the most points. That's Wingspan. Wingspan, even as a solo game, should be played on a dining table. Once you know what you're doing, 3 can play in around an hour, including setup and takedown. More players means more downtime, especially in the later rounds as there are more combos to activate. I've played this with 1, 2, 3, and 5 people so far, and I enjoy it most with 3. As with many drafting games, things can change too much by the time the game gets back to you, plus there's that downtime I just mentioned. While the game mechanisms are simple, the planning needed to trigger successful combos, plus maximizing those scoring goals, will likely be too much for even experienced gamers younger than 8. Me and Mom were taught Wingspan at OrcaCon 2020 by the box artist Beth Sobel. It was a 5-player game with her family. Super cool. I'm not used to playing with groups at all, so I was a little impatient between turns. I passed the time by reading the facts on the card bottoms. With that said, it was a lot of fun to see all of these different strategies and all of the beautiful birds. Although I came in 4th, I was only 8 points out of 1st. Close game. Mom finished 2nd. Beth won, but that's okay because she's awesome. My second game was against Rael Gaviola. If you don't know him, he's a reviewer, Twitch streamer, and all-around great guy. He's also deadly at Wingspan, crushing me in an online game by... You know what? How about we just move along to the next section? I touched on Wingspan's downtime a few times now. Let me be clear. For the most part, turns are quick. There are the occasional times where someone needs to draft a food dye, but it requires a roll. Then they may place the card under a bird, so they need to decide which one. Then, like I said, it's not all the time and doesn't feel as bad as, say, Honeybuzz. I quite like the bird abilities. Some get you cards, some get you food, and some are straight up points. You need to pay attention to the other players in order to activate the pink abilities. These aren't common though, so they can be easy to forget. I recommend players let their opponents know once they have these types of cards. I always enjoy games with secret goals, and it's a cool twist that you can gain more as you play. Because almost everything is worth points, you already want to build a strong tableau, but you might draw a goal card that benefits you even more, or one that doesn't really help. I know some don't enjoy this sort of mechanism, so I wanted to mention it. Despite being a relatively simple game, all of these things come together to give you some tough choices and decisions. Then there's that amazing mechanism where you're losing action cubes each round. This ramps up the optimization puzzle as the game goes on. The cards add randomness to the game. You're going to be stuck at times with birds that don't help your strategy. Easier to mitigate are the dice. The ability to reroll if all dice have the same symbol is cleverer than it first appears. With the right engine, you can get food left and right, and roll to take what your opponents need. Being able to trade unwanted food is a huge addition. I also like how eggs, food, and cards can be discarded to gain a bit more during activation. The theme is so calming. Imagine playing this in a park with the sun shining overhead. The leaves are rustling and the birds are tweeting. You pick up one of the nearly 200 cards to admire the gorgeous art. The graphic design of the cards isn't as thematic as the board and mats, but they're clean and easy to follow. The solo mode is fine, but I'm not a huge solo gamer. I'm not going to choose this over Under Falling Skies or Fantastic Factories though. One last thing, the designer, card artist, and box artist are all women. Awesome! Wingspan took over the board gaming world by storm in 2019, selling a ton of copies, winning nearly every award, and introducing many new people to modern board games. Because everyone was talking about it, there were some complaints from people who enjoy deeper strategy games with less luck and more player choices. Maybe Wingspan is a bit too simple for your family/group, and that's fine. Maybe it's a bit too advanced, and that's fine too. Hopefully my video helps you decide if it's right for you.